and why the health specifically of our gut is such a critical component to emotional and mental health. Can you give us a little cliff notes?
Yes, let's talk about it. I'm going to come back to the gut in 1 second. I have an important point that I would like to make about the world of trauma and mental health. And this was a big insight that I gleaned from being in a PhD program, is that, there are these different disciplines out there, right? We have people that study biology. They're very into biological mechanisms. And then we have the psychological sciences, right? Where people are investigating the facets of the mind. And then we have, sociology, where people are interested in social and environmental context. So when you look at something like trauma, right, you could study the effects of trauma from a purely biological lens, right? Looking at, animal models of early life stress, the neurobiological implications, the biological embedding of adversity, which is a big part of some of the literature that I've read a lot of. And then the psychological implications of it all, and the relational health and the attachments, et cetera. And then looking at them as being socially patterned within social context. And so one of the reasons why I believe that this conversation has been slow to move forward is because you have these different disciplines in their silos studying it from their own different lens, and there's very little integration of it all, right? And so the gut is a perfect example of something that is highly favored and slanted toward biological sciences. We're looking at microbes. We're looking at things that aren't easily understood without high-tech equipment now. And so, when we think about, for example, gut health, that becomes a very specific discipline where, people only at universities are able to study it. And when we start linking gut health to mental health, now we bring in the psychology piece, right? So we've got this conversation around nutritional psychiatry, the gut-brain axis. And now we've got to think about nutritional psychology, how we think about food top down instead of bottom up. But I think the revolution with the gut brain axis really started when it was discovered how neurotransmitters were often produced in the gut by way of microbes would produce what we call postbiotics. But then it was sort of discovered that a lot of those don't necessarily cross the blood-brain barrier. Just because the neurotransmitter is in the gut, does that mean that it's actually active in the brain? The area that I've become interested in is the immune system. So inflammation. We know that gut-based inflammation has a wide range of potential implications, one of which low-grade inflammation, something that someone might not even notice, right? They don't even know they have it, can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and cause neuroinflammation. And I find this to be a real important link. There's a growing field called psychoneuroimmunology. And I think that the immune system is going to get a lot more attention. Obviously, it got a lot of attention with COVID-19, but thinking about the immune system as a mediator between the gut and the brain, that really seems to be an important future direction for the nutrition for mental health conversation.